We used to pray for times like this so we could play Gekishin Squadra type shit. Oh, yo, I don't know what I was trying to say, but yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Bebop, and we just got some balance updates. Now, it's not official yet per se. You're not gonna see it on the game or whatever. Some friends of mine did some testing on certain characters to see what type of update that was installed last night. If you guys saw, there was like a 333 megabyte update for Gekishin Squadra, and some characters definitely got their nerfs and some definitely got their buffs. So we're going to be going over it today and showing you guys what exactly got nerfed, who exactly got buffed. I'm kind of excited. Now, I've already taken a look to see who got nerfed, who got buffed, and honestly, there are certain characters that I definitely agree with. I definitely agree with some nerfs. I definitely agree with some buffs. I'm a little disappointed that there were certain characters that definitely needed some buffs and or nerfs. So we're gonna be going over that right now. Shout out to Mage on Reddit, that's the boy. All right, so nerfs that I can confirm for myself as well. Cooler, let's start off with Cooler. Cooler got a skill 1 and 2 buff, or excuse me, nerf, and apparently it's a damage nerf as well as some health reduction. So you guys know how oppressive Cooler could have been, or he's kind of still is, but this is gonna be a little interesting to see his skill 1 and skill 2. His skill 2 was that AoE. If you pretty much vanished within his AoE, he would still stun you. So I think the cooldown increased by an additional 2 seconds, and his skill 1 increased by a couple seconds. And his health reduction is gonna feel a little interesting as well. Khalifa, ho ho ho, I rubbed my hands with this one, man. 7-second skill 1 for her provoke, 12 seconds for his skill 2, and 10-second skill 3. Her provoke duration reduced by 1 second from 7 to 6. Actually makes a big difference. You're gonna think, oh, only 1 second. Yeah, I agree, it should have been 7 total seconds. It should have been completely reduced by it, but no, 1 second does make a difference. I'm actually very happy that they listened to the people. You know, I was pushing for that as well. Like, provoke lasts a little too long. You guys saw my other previous videos how I talked about that as well. So we got some good W's so far in terms of our predictions. Daima was an interesting one, man. His skill 1, like I said, it did a little too much damage, a little too much dot damage. So apparently it got reduced by 5 to 10% less skill damage on his Wasabi. I'm not even mad at that, honestly. Like, I genuinely think like it was a little overtuned. That's just me. Now, the one we've been all waiting for, everyone stood up and clapped. Super Saiyan 3 Goku has a higher cooldown on his Kamehameha, I can confirm that, and less damage. That is really good. Now, personally, and I think a couple could agree, I personally think his instant transmission should have been touched as well. That's just me and other people. I think, you know, increasing the cooldown in his instant transmission should have been the one to be nerfed, you know, or at least increasing the cooldown of that. But hey, I will take the damage reduction. I will say though, it low-key does suck that now that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to be free for free-to-play players, you know, they're getting the version of him where he isn't as potent as he was. So kind of an interesting choice, but again, it was to be expected, because again, that beam did way too much, and especially with cards again like Divine Draw that would scale with his with that superstar. Yeah, no, bro, I wasn't trying to get beamed level 3 for free. Nah, it needed some tune down. I'm sorry. Android 18 was a devious sneak in my opinion. She gets 1 less skill, or 1 less disc in her skill 1. So she used to be able to equip 3, now it goes from 3 to 2. Very interesting choice. I don't know why, to be honest. Like, I never thought that was such a big deal, but that's gonna be interesting to see how she's gonna feel now, because again, discs was not, as a character in general, I don't feel like it was a high priority in the slightest. I think there were other characters that should have been implemented from the beginning to get nerfed. Android 18 was never amongst the conversation. Gold Tanks was an interesting one, but I kind of saw it coming too. I knew something about him was gonna get nerfed. I just didn't know what. Didn't know what it was gonna be, and apparently it was a skill 1, and it does feel a significant difference. His skill 1 is now longer by 1.5 seconds. Very interesting choice again, but Gold Tank skill 1 having a longer cooldown, I could see where they were trying to come from, but I still think Gold Tanks was a low priority here, because again, they didn't touch Gohan and they didn't touch Hit. Hit and Gohan not being touched in this tech meta right now, interesting choice. And by interesting, not a good decision in my opinion. Kale and Gotenks, Ghost skill 1 is longer, by the way. So Kale's, you know, her first skill, which pretty much does an insane amount of damage, just has a longer cooldown, which, you know what? I can tolerate that. I still think it should have done a little less damage, but a longer cooldown, because again, like the fact that it comes up that quick and she can afford to make a mistake, and then that cooldown comes back up, she can secure objectives easily with bosses and or Kai. So yeah, I think that's appropriate. Still would have done a little more to her, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Gotenks one, I'm not really a big fan of. Hit was in my opinion, as far as tech goes, Hit was like a #1 priority. I went in on him my last video. This guy does, again, it's corny. I find Hit players repulsive, bro. Like, you probably stink IRL, like low key. I'm just kidding, not really. I went in on what he should have gotten nerfed by, and the fact that they didn't even touch this man at all is crazy. Now I'm hoping that, I know in December, the first 2 weeks, we're not going to get any balance updates. So it's going to be an interesting month, to say the least, especially with Super Saiyan 4 and Ultimate Gohan dropping no balance update. But by the end of December, we should still be expecting to see another balance update. So I hope in that time frame, Hit gets nerfed. His invisibility, too much. And yeah, if you didn't see the video before, I recommend you watch it because I go in on that. Now, buffs. This wasn't an interesting one. Not gonna lie, Krillin getting a buff, I kind of saw coming, only because of the fact that nobody really uses Krillin like that. The main 3 techs you're seeing are Hit, Gohan, and Gotenks, and sometimes your Majin Buu players. Hardly ever Krillin. Doboro getting a buff, kind of saw that coming. We kind of predicted that too. I think he needed a minor buff. Apparently though, I did some testing myself, and I think his petrification gauge is going to be easier to land now because of his passive. If you guys don't know, his passive just had like a little ring around him, a little ring AoE, where if you stand in it for long enough, the petrification gauge fills up. Now, shout out to the homie Minato. I told Minato about this. I was like, yo, something is up with his petrification gauge, and can kind of confirm that it went from 24 seconds to 12 seconds. And again, this is without any additional attacks, as you guys could see. Just standing in it, as you see right here, the petrification gauge is filling up quite fast, honestly. And that's just not even attacking. So if you drop his ultimate, by the way, if you guys didn't know, if you land it, it fills up the petrification by half. You stand, if he's literally point blank range and you ult, he gets in your face and he stuns you, or he nullifies your vanish, because his skill 2 nullifies you from even evade stepping, you will get stoned. So this guy is gonna be a little interesting. I still think the best route to go with this guy though is an increase of defense. To be honest, like, you need some type of defense on him. I would recommend build up, barrier, and probably pursuer or wicked warrior, depending on your playstyle. But I still think that this guy is going to be very interesting. I always thought Doboro was good. It's just he fell off from grace, especially when you got ramping characters like Super Saiyan 3 running around. So it's going to be very interesting to see Doboro in the meta right now. I don't think he's meta, but I think that he's definitely going to be used a lot more. By the way, I really want to quickly talk about Super Saiyan 3's nerf. So you guys can see here, his Kamehameha got pretty much nerfed. If you saw here, 1612, the initial blast damage, right? And then you got the 201, 201, 201, right? Then here, does the same setup, and now it's 1209, and then I think that's 218. I think Minato put 2 away by mistake, but 218. So the 1612 to 1209 is a major difference, to be honest. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna fare or feel in ranked right now. Moving on though, in terms of more buffs, we got buffs. Apparently his skill 3, I believe, has a shorter cooldown. So there's some new info here that I'll get into. So I mean, right here it says skill 3 buff from 9 seconds per charge to 7 seconds. Very interesting as well. Oh wow, for Frieza returning, so this is a nerf. Wait, is it a nerf? Oh, it is. For Frieza returning max health, Zarbon has a 5-second cooldown instead of 2. Wait, huh? For Frieza returning max health? I don't know what that means. Okay, I don't know what that means. Is it like is Zarbon having less health or an increase of his cooldown if Zarbon dies? I don't know what that, I don't know. It sounds weird. All right, Android 17 buff. This is the one we also predicted, and I said that he definitely deserves. His skill 3 shield lasts 3 seconds longer after use instead of 1 second. Also, ult lasts 1 second longer after finishing. That's good as well. His skill 1 from 11 seconds to 8 seconds. Huge, actually. That's very huge. We love to see that. Android 17 definitely deserves the buffs. Bojack apparently they gave this man some pebbles, bro. They did not give this man a steak dinner with his buffs. Bojack's skill 2 time got shortened, which again, the problem with Bojack was also not just his damage not being there, but also his skills being taking forever to be thrown out. His skill 2 throw time has been shortened apparently, and apparently Bojack's ult is much faster now and does a bit more or a much more higher damage. So we'll see. But again, skill 1, skill 3 is going to be interesting because again, I feel like he needed an overall overhaul. That's just me, but I don't know if he's going to be like contesting in the meta right now. Again, like that wasn't like the main thing he needed, right? They just gave this man a minor appetizer, but we'll see. Supporter got some interesting changes as well. So Sergeant, aka Metallic, the one that could destroy obstacles like the walls and stuff, they definitely increased the cooldown from 20 to 60 seconds, which I agree was standard, honestly, because obviously it doesn't matter because now we're not gonna, for season 2, we're not gonna get steam buns, so it really doesn't matter. It's gonna be, I hardly doubt anyone is gonna be using Metallic now, because you know, without Metallic or without buns, you know, Metallic is just utterly useless. So I will hardly see Metallic being run around anyway. Dragon, aka I believe he means Icarus, got a shorter cooldown reduction from 60 to 45. Cabba's a really good one. The defense range increased because you had to really, it was a really small pool of standing in Cabba's little buff where he gives you defense. This is for tanks specifically. So I'm glad that it increased the range. Honestly, it should probably be like the entire team gets defense. That's just me. But really good choice there. General, the health of first tower has increased significantly, so it'll be a longer battle. I am very glad about this one actually, because all it took for bot lane, or even top lane, right? If Zeno is on the enemy tower, on your tower, and if you and your duo dies, your tower's gone, right? So the fact that the tower is now getting an increase in health makes for longer games, makes for better comeback potential, which I agree should have been implemented from the start. Okay, now again, let's get over some new info. So we already talked about the Android 17 buffs. Text might move slower in general now. That's an interesting one. I don't know if anyone can confirm that, but that's an interesting one. Khalifa, again, skill 3 lasts a second longer apparently. Again, she needed nerfs. Let's see. We talked about Cool already. His health got reduced apparently. Trunks, this one was the one that like actually gave me the ick. Why did Trunks get a buff to his rush attack? That man already, as it was, his rush attack speed was fast enough. It was good. That wasn't the issue. It's his survivability before level 7. I think just even giving this man an additional 200 health, right? Like the man had NPC level health, right? You tap Trunks 3 times, he's done. Like, so I think just even like a little defense, like give him +5 defense or something, +3, I don't know, anything to his overall survivability. That's just me. But this is, again, for now. We're gonna get the huge overhaul balance update when maintenance starts and when we enter the game. So at 1 in the morning Eastern Standard Time for me, that is when we'll be seeing the everything completely in writing by the devs themselves. So everything right here, take it with a bit of a grain of salt, because again, we're not too good at calculating the numbers per se. Obviously that's the devs. I wish we had like actual analytics in the game as it is. But again, shout out to Mage, shout out to every tester from my friends that tried and went into training mode and tested all these characters individually. I know that took a little bit of time, so I'm glad that we can confirm some things, and we're still having a little debate and wondering what other things we're probably overlooking or not seeing. But the main one obviously was Super Saiyan 3. Like, again, everyone clapped when we saw that. So huge. Again, so I'm curious to see what the devs will officially say. And again, my only saltiness was hit. My friend said that from what they feel and see, they don't really feel a hit nerf any difference to his kit overall. So I'm really disappointed with that, so I'm hoping to see that in the next update. What are you guys thinking? Let me know your thoughts below, man. And I'll see you when Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta drops. Expect a showcase ASAP. Peace.